Okay, ready to get started. It's 8:30. Hi everyone.
Hi.
Good morning. I'm sorry it's before noon. I'm not awake either. My name's Greg Risha. I graduated from here at Paul Mitchell School. I was in the esthetician program. It was actually 2 years ago in October. I was sitting right there. And while I was here, I was also in a organic formulation class as well. So I got my aesthetics license along with a diploma in organic skincare formulation. And like Jen said, I'm all about ingredients. I love skincare ingredients, and I've also learned that that can also be like the hardest thing in school to understand is what ingredients do what products are for what skin type. How does all this work? So I've been asked, this is my fourth time here, I've been asked to come in and just do an hour of talking about ingredients, how they work, a little bit about sun exposure, and how to protect yourself from the sun. I'm currently the skin specialist at Prodigy Salon here in Colorado Springs. I've written 2 books about skincare, and I've also just recently started a podcast called Aesthetics Magazine. You can find that on just a few platforms, not all of them, just a few like Apple, YouTube, Spotify, and Audible. You can find the podcast there. Basically, that podcast is pretty much all of my notes put into voice form. And sometimes I record my talks. I'm doing that today. I'm going to put the audio on the podcast as well from today's class. I just kind of want to start by asking a question. What is the number one rule of skincare? And you can make up an answer if you want to. What do you think the number one, what is the most important number one rule of skincare? Correct. Sunscreen. Sunscreen is the number one rule of skincare. Sunscreen every day, no matter what. What is the most effective anti-aging product in the world? I'll give you a hint. The answer's the same. Sunscreen is the number one anti-aging product in the world. If you have a client and their concern is reducing the signs of aging, the first thing you're going to tell them is sunscreen every day, no matter what. And there's a few different camps when it comes to sunscreen. There's chemical sunscreens, there's mineral sunscreens. Chemical sunscreens lately have been getting a bad rap, specifically because of a few harmful ingredients. One ingredient in sunscreen that you want to avoid is called oxybenzone. Oxybenzone, this is an ingredient in sunscreen that is starting to be banned around the world for a couple different reasons. One, it can be irritating to some people in their skin, but the most important reason is when it goes off when you're going into the ocean, it can get into the coral reefs and it can cause damage to the coral reefs, it can kill the fish, and so that's why it's currently being banned around the world. But when somebody tells you chemical sunscreens are bad, I don't necessarily believe that's true. Chemical sunscreens are just as effective as mineral sunscreens. You just have to be careful of a few of the ingredients, and one of them is oxybenzone. I want to talk about the difference between intrinsic aging and extrinsic aging, and how certain ingredients can help you understand these two. So, intrinsic aging or internal aging is your genes. It's just your natural aging process throughout your life. Extrinsic aging is aging on your skin that comes from environmental factors or bad habits like overexposure to the sun or smoking. And in order to combat some of these ill effects from the sun or from bad habits is antioxidants. Can anybody tell me what an antioxidant is? So basically what an antioxidant is it takes skin molecules that are out of balance and brings them back into balance. So if you're overexposed to the sun, let's say you get a sunburn, what that's going to do is it's going to take the skin molecule and it's going to take one electron from that skin molecule and it's going to knock that electron out. Now this molecule, the skin molecule, is out of balance. It's missing an electron. So what it's going to do is it's going to steal an electron from its neighbor. And then that skin molecule is going to steal an electron from its neighbor, and this creates a chain reaction that damages your skin. An antioxidant is what you need to combat free radicals, okay? An antioxidant puts that electron back into the molecule and restores balance to unhealthy skin. Some antioxidants that are pretty common. Green tea is one of the most common antioxidants out there. Another one would be, I'm sorry? Oh, yes. Blueberries as well. Vitamin C, that one is a really important antioxidant. And also another antioxidant like blueberries or some forms of vitamin B can be an antioxidant as well. But the most common forms of antioxidants that you'll run into is either green tea or vitamin C in skincare products. There's different kinds of, let me go back here to antioxidants for you. Another antioxidant that you can talk about would be vitamin D. Vitamin D is also a potent antioxidant, and it's created by exposure to the sun. So technically, vitamin D is technically a hormone instead of a vitamin because it's synthesized in your skin after being exposed to the sun. And if you're in environments like we are up here in this high altitude, everybody up here in this high altitude is vitamin D deficient. We all are. And it's important for me that if I'm vitamin D deficient, then I'm going to take vitamin D supplements, especially if you're up in this high altitude. Vitamin D supplements are excellent for you, but here's the catch. It is beyond our scope of practice, especially in the state of Colorado. It is beyond our scope of practice to offer oral supplements to our clients. That's in the realm of like nutritionists, that's in the realm of doctors. It is not our place to recommend oral supplements. You can recommend topical supplements, that's what we're here to do. We're here to help your guest find the right products for their skin. But when it comes to pills or supplements or taking oral shots like Image Skincare, they have the Yana line, which is oral supplements of collagen. In some states it's great. You can sell those supplements right off your shelf. In Colorado, you don't want to be advising your guests to take supplements, and you don't want to be selling supplements in your shop. I'm going to talk about vitamins for just a little bit. Vitamins in skincare, in fact, here's a shameless plug. I wrote a whole book about vitamins in skincare. And you can also, on my Instagram, I do a story like once a week about vitamins. So if you want to learn more about vitamins, go to my story on Instagram. I also do a story each week about an Image Skincare product, where I just take the product, describe what it is, what it does, how it works. So go ahead and go there and see that. So I'm just going to start with vitamin A. Vitamin A, you can also call vitamin A retinol. Retinol is a derivative of vitamin A. It's part of the family of vitamin A. And I'm sure you've heard retinol on the commercials and things like that. Who hasn't heard of retinol on television? What is retinol? What does it do? Retinol is an anti-aging ingredient, and it's used for a couple different reasons. One, it helps with cell turnover. So as we age, as we get older, the rate of our cell turnover slows down. So the reason why when we're younger, our skin looks fuller, healthier, suppler, glowier is because our cells are turning over faster. The cells are dying and new ones are being formed at a faster rate. As we get older, it slows down, and that's what retinols are for. Retinols help speed up the cell turnover. And when you're speeding up the cell turnover, it reduces the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. That's the whole idea behind retinols. Another retinol that's really popular these days is called tretinoin. It is 20 times stronger than retinol. And you need a prescription for it. In most cases, you need a prescription for any kind of tretinoin. Another important thing about vitamin A or retinol is it's used not only to combat anti-aging concerns, it's also used to combat acne concerns. What vitamin A does is it helps, not only does it help with the cell turnover, but it helps to reduce the signs of acne because it's an anti-inflammatory. Anti-inflammatories help to reduce inflammation. The acne that we see, the pimples and the redness and the inflammation that we see, that is itself inflammation. So if we can use a vitamin A to reduce that inflammation, then we're going to reduce the appearance of acne as well. And I've learned that going through a lot of ingredients, I've learned that a lot of the ingredients that you use for anti-aging also work for acneic skin as well. A lot of the same ingredients will do the same things for wrinkles as well as acne. One of those is vitamin A. Next up is vitamin B. Vitamin B, or for our purposes, it's also called niacinamide. There are several different forms of vitamin B. Biotin is another one. But for our purposes, niacinamide has two main functions for our purposes. One is it helps to clear surface oils. So if you're suffering from acne, it's going to help remove the oils from the skin. And two, niacinamide also helps to even out your skin tone. So if you have patchy skin, or if you have like little sunspots or little sun kisses, that helps to reduce the signs, reduce dark spots, to even out the skin tone. Niacinamide, you can find niacinamide in a few different products here. Most importantly, you can find niacinamide in some of the Illuma line from Image Skincare. Next up is vitamin C. I like to call vitamin C a super ingredient. There's a few super ingredients out there. One being CBD is a super ingredient. Gold is also a super ingredient, and vitamin C. I call vitamin C a super ingredient because it does several different things for your skin. It's an antioxidant that we just talked about. It's an anti-inflammatory as well, which we just talked about. It suppresses the production of melanin. So what you're going to do is you're going to see the reduction of sunspots. You're going to see an evening out of the skin tone as well with vitamin C. It has anti-aging properties as well, and so people use it as an anti-aging ingredient. And also, I kind of joke that it does so many things that it can even do the dishes. Gold is another one. It's an anti-inflammatory, it's an antioxidant, it suppresses the production of melanin, and it's a natural moisturizer. The same thing with CBD. It's a super ingredient. It's an anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, it reduces the production of melanin, and it's a natural moisturizer. So when you're looking at ingredients on a label, pay attention and look for any forms of vitamin C on there that you might find. The Vital C line from Image Skincare that you use here, I would say the most important product from the Vital C line would be the Vital C Hydrating Anti-Aging Serum. I'm sure you've all been familiar with it. It has 5 different forms of vitamin C in it, including the oil-soluble form of vitamin C, which helps with keeping the formulation stable. I just want to talk about vitamin C and being stable in formulas for just a minute, because there's still some confusion, or there's still some debate about vitamin C and exposure to the air. So if you have if you have a non-oil soluble form of vitamin C and you have it in your formulation, if you have it in your skincare product, you open up that skincare product and expose it to the air, many forms of vitamin C can become ineffective. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just not going to work. That's all that's going to happen. So there's preservatives in there. There's extra ingredients in there to help with that. But as soon as you open a bottle with vitamin C in it, it's going to start oxidizing. Tetrahexadecyl ascorbate. This is a oil-soluble form of vitamin C. This does not degrade when it is exposed to air, and it also helps the shelf life. You can have an unopened product on your shelf for up to 2 years with its oil-soluble form of vitamin C. So when you're looking at different formulations for vitamin C, pay attention to two things. One, does it have an oil-soluble form of vitamin C? Or two, is it in a bottle that doesn't let air in? Is it in a pump, or is it in a tube that you can just open it up? Pay attention to a few of those things. If you have vitamin C that opens up like a tub, that's going to be a lot of exposure to air. That's going to be a lot of oxidation. If it has a little bit of a pump to it, you should be okay if it doesn't have an oil-soluble form of vitamin C in there. I know I'm going really fast. Does anybody have any questions up to this point? Or you'd like to go back to something? Go ahead.
So when you like put it on your skin, it's like exposed to the air, so then does it start like the longer you wear it?
Right, yeah. So not necessarily when you put the product on your face, that's just your natural usage of the product, but opening and closing it a couple, like every day, or if you do a morning and night routine, opening and closing it a day, once or twice a day, that's the kind of exposure to air that we're talking about. But a one time on your face, that's exactly what it's used for. Any other questions before we move on? Vitamin D, I touched on that just a little bit ago. And then vitamin E is one more vitamin that I'd like to talk about. This is also known as tocopherol. And vitamin E, you can actually get vitamin E almost anywhere. You can get it at any pharmacy, you can get it at any grocery store. A lot of folks, especially in the wintertime when their skin gets chapped, they put some vitamin E oil in their back. Vitamin E is a natural moisturizer, and it also helps to protect against sun damage. The way it helps to protect against sun damage is by taking the radiation from the sun, and it releases it as heat away from your skin, so that the heat of the sun doesn't damage your skin as much. So you're getting moisture, and you're also getting sun protection from vitamin E's. You'll find a lot of products, especially for the lips, with vitamin E in it. That's simply because it creates a nice barrier over your skin as a moisturizer, and it'll protect your skin from sun damage as well. Actually, I want to talk about skin types real quick, because that was another thing that was kind of hard for me to understand right away. So I'm going to just start with dry skin. If you have dry skin, that means that you have a reduction in moisture. You have a reduction in hydrators in your skin. So if you have dry skin, what do you think you should do? Add moisture, or also a hydrator. Hydrators like glycerin, or another common hydrator would be hyaluronic acid. The difference is a hydrator kind of works from the inside out. A hydrator like hyaluronic acid. You know how an ant can hold 50 times its weight? Hyaluronic acid can hold 1,000 times its weight in water. And it holds that water right at the surface of your skin, hydrating it and moisturizing it for the rest of the day. Glycerin is a really common skincare ingredient. That one is also a humectant, or a hydrator. It works from the inside out. The difference between hydrators and moisturizers. Moisturizers cover the outside of your skin and work in, protecting your skin from the outside elements, and it holds the moisture in. So the way I like to think about it is hydrators work from the inside out, moisturizers work from the outside in. And so if you have dry skin, you would want both. You would want a hydrator and a moisturizer for somebody with dry skin. If you have somebody with oily skin, what do you think you should be doing? You'd think. It's really weird, but if you moisturize acneic skin, you're tricking your skin into thinking it doesn't need to produce more oil. So when you have acneic skin, it's a disorder of the sebaceous gland. We're producing too much oil because our skin thinks it's dry. So if we moisturize acneic skin, we're going to trick our skin into thinking it doesn't need to produce more oil. And
I'll
so,
bet that's why Proactive gets like that.
exactly. So it's counterintuitive. You'd think that you'd want to stay away from moisturizers with acneic skin, but it's the opposite. You want to moisturize acneic skin because you're going to reduce the oil production when you're moisturizing. Combination skin as well. If you have somebody that has oiliness in the middle and you have dry patchiness on the outside, I would suggest a hydrator for that. I would suggest something like hyaluronic acid because it's working from the inside out. You're still moisturizing the skin as well with like a regular everyday moisturizer or an SPF. But for combination skin, you want to use either gel-based products or you want to use humectants. Just about the difference for dry skin versus oily skin, there's a difference in formulations. There's oil-based skincare products and there's water-based skincare products. Oil-based skincare products are like creams. Creams are literally just whipped oil. That's what a cream is. And so when you're looking at skincare products and you're looking at creams or you're looking at moisturizers, you're looking at oils. And so these are the things that you kind of want to avoid. Oily products with acneic skin. Or there's the other side of it, which is water-based, or gels. Gels are water-based, creams are oil-based. Gels, on the other hand, kind of like the Ormetic line from Image Skincare, that's all gels and water-based skincare products. That would be excellent for somebody with acneic skin. Water-based products, water-based moisturizers, instead of oil-based moisturizers for somebody with acneic skin. Absolutely. When you're doing, what I love about water-based products is you can use it for any. You can use it for any skin type, and you can use it for any skincare concern. Water-based or gels can work everywhere. That's why the Ormetic line is so popular, because so many different people can use it. Not only can they use it, but they can see results from that skincare line. And so yeah, that's kind of the difference there. Dry skins, we want to put oils and creams in dry skins. Acneic and oily skins, we want to put water-based or gel-based things in oily or acneic skins. Any questions about that? Yeah.
Is there like what other Image skincare lines are water based? Like, is it just Ormetic or?
There, I would say for the most part, the Ormetic line is the water-based line. I would say the Illuma line has a few water-based products. I'm sorry. And some, yes, that's right. Some of Clearcell is water-based
And what was
products.
that on?
The Illuma line, that has a few water-based products, yes, and the Clearcell line, especially their the Restoring Repair Cream. It's called a cream, but if you look at the consistency, I think it's a gel, but it says it's a cream, so they're going to call it a cream. They're going to call it what they want. The Repair Cream from the Clearcell line. Oh, you have it? Okay. It says it's a cream, but when I pump it and I look at it, I'm like, that does not look like a cream to me. But that's all right.
Quick question.
Yeah.
For more sensitive skin, actually, the gel base one is better.
I would say gel based for somebody with more sensitive skin. Start there.
The clarifying repair cream.
Clarifying repair. See, when you look at it, it looks more like a gel.
It's a super.
So this is the clarifying repair cream from Image Skincare. It says it's a cream, but I'm not going to argue with them. It's their product.
I really think it's just they have the Restoring Repair Cream and then they have the lotion. I think it's just this one is a tad thicker than the lotion, so this is more their nighttime in that line, and the lotion is the daytime.
One more thing about this, just specifically this product here. Remember how a little bit ago I was talking about vitamin A's and how a retinol can help to reduce acne? This doesn't have vitamin A. This has an alternative called Bacocchio. Bacocchio is one of my favorite ingredients. This is a natural alternative to retinol. It's made from a plant from eastern China, the bakuchiol plant. And so what it does is it mimics the effects of retinol without the side effects of retinol. Without the irritation, you can wax after it, you can have sun exposure after it. Bakuchiol does the same things that a retinol does without the nasty side effects. So bakuchiol, pay attention to that. Pay attention to that ingredient because you're going to see that in more and more formulations. You can. Makingcosmetics.com. Makingcosmetics.com. You can buy pure form of bakuchiol on there. I put bakuchiol in my formulations, also the tetrahexadecyl ascorbate as well. Be looking out for that because retinols actually in the European Union, the retinols are starting to be banned at the time, and so I would say in the next 5 to 10 years, you're not going to see retinols on the market anymore because they're just the side effects are sometimes not worth it. And so you're gonna see bakuchiol a lot in the coming years, especially in skincare formulations. Go on to a few ingredients, a few common ingredients. Bakuchiol is one. Glycolic acid. Glycolic acid. This is an alpha hydroxy acid, or a chemical form of an exfoliant. Glycolic acid is pretty serious stuff. What it does is it chemically eats away at the oils and dirt and the dead skin cells on your skin, so that once you wipe them away, it reveals fresh new skin underneath. Glycolic acid is so serious, in fact, that when they first started using it in formulations, you needed a special certification in order to use glycolic acid. And that's how the aesthetics industry was born. And the aesthetics industry was created because of glycolic acid, because of this alpha hydroxy acid, this chemical form of an exfoliant. Have we talked about? I'm not sure how far many of you are in your program. So I'm just going to briefly talk about the different kinds of exfoliants for you. If you've already heard all this, you can ignore me. But there's a few different types of exfoliants. There's physical exfoliants, there's enzymatic exfoliants, there's chemical exfoliants. Physical exfoliants, these are the exfoliants that have like the scrubbing beads or the sands in them. These are physically moving the dead skin cells and the dirt and the oils away from your skin. Enzymatic exfoliants, these are like fruit extracts, like papayas or pumpkin extracts. These are plant-based or enzymatic exfoliants. These kind of eat away at the dead skin cells and the oils on the surface of your skin, so you can easily remove them later. But it's not as strong as a chemical exfoliant. A chemical exfoliant is like glycolic acid or lactic acid. These are alpha hydroxy acids and beta hydroxy acids. These are the chemical exfoliants that are going to chemically eat away at the dead skin cells and the oils and the dirts on your skin. So that's briefly kind of the difference between them. Like lactic acid is another form of a chemical exfoliant. And the name of it kind of tells you what it is. Lactic or lactose milk. Sour milk is literally lactic acid. In fact, Cleopatra would take baths in sour milk because it would make her skin feel soft and look brighter and healthy. We found out now it's because the lactic acid that's in the sour milk. And yes, you really can. If you have sour milk, you can open up that bottle and put it right on your face. You literally can do that. I don't suggest you do it, but if you wanted to, you can get a little exfoliation from sour milk. Next up is squalene. Squalene you can find, primarily you can find squalene in the Biome Plus line. Are you familiar with the Biome Plus line? You'll find squalene in that. That's, again, that's a natural moisturizer. That works from the outside in. that protects your skin from the elements outside, but it also keeps the good stuff in. And squalene used to come from the liver of sharks, and recently we've wised up and started using plant-based. So these days, you can find squalene in olives. That's where we're getting a lot of our squalene from. This is from olives. Next up is kojic acid. Kojic acid is a natural lightener. It's a natural brightener. Image Skincare also has like a kojic acid enhancer. You can find kojic acid in the Illuma line as well. The Illuma line is primarily for evening out the skin tone and brightening dark spots. And so kojic acid, that's a natural lightener. It's a natural brightener. Another natural lightener or a natural brightener that's a little bit more effective than kojic acid is called licorice root extract. Licorice root extract is also a natural brightener, a lightener. And yeah, it does work a little bit better than kojic acid. So if you have a formulation with a mix of the two, you're in good hands there. You can find a lot of that in the Illuma line. Am I going too fast? Or do you have any questions or anything right now? Yeah, go for
Are
it.
all of those only topical? Like, I know obviously like olives are edible, but if you ate olive, would it be the same thing?
I don't think so. That's just because of the process that it's manufactured by that brings out the certain properties in the olives. So yeah, eating olives is good for you. And olive oil is, by the way, olive oil itself is it's an excellent moisturizer because it will stay on the outside of your skin a little bit longer compared to other oils, simply because the molecules are bigger. The molecules in olive oil are pretty big they're big enough that it takes a long time for them to absorb in your skin. So you'll find a lot of massage parlors using products with olive oil in it because the molecules are so big they can keep massaging because it's not absorbing into the skin. That same principle is the idea behind why the Vitamin C Hydrating Anti-Aging Serum works, because it has those 5 different forms of vitamin C in it, and the molecules of those 5 different forms of vitamin C, they're all different sizes. So the smaller molecules will penetrate your skin faster. The larger molecules will take longer to penetrate. So this creates a time release effect that moisturizes your skin throughout the day. Another product from Image Skincare that does that is from the Ageless line, the Hyaluronic 6 filler. The 6 in that means there's 6 different kinds of hyaluronic acid in the Ageless Hyaluronic 6 filler. And it's the same principle. All those molecules, they're all different sizes. The smaller molecule will penetrate your skin faster, the larger molecules take longer, and it creates a time release effect that moisturizes your skin throughout the day. When it comes to topical skincare, when you're talking about just common fruits and vegetables, oranges, blueberries. Another one that is important is, of course, green tea. Chocolate is an excellent antioxidant, by the way, especially dark chocolate. And then the last ingredient that I have on here is green tea. It's another one of my favorite ingredients. I briefly talked about it a little bit ago, but the most important claim to fame for green tea is it's an antioxidant. It brings free radicals back into balance. It stops that chain reaction that's damaging your skin from free radicals. Green tea is also an anti-inflammatory, so if you have someone with sensitive skin or a little bit of redness in their skin, green tea can help to reduce that inflammation. Any questions so far? Yeah. Go ahead.
Green teas and products, can you drink
Yes.
green tea?
Yes. Yes, that's another one. Green tea, just drinking it is excellent, not only for your body, but also for your skin. And a fun little DIY at-home tip, if you're overexposed to the sun, not necessarily a sunburn, but if you're a little sun-kissed after sun exposure, take 2 teaspoons of honey. Open up a green tea packet, sprinkle that in there, and put it on your face for about 10 minutes. Just regular honey and a green tea packet can help reduce some of the damage after sun exposure. It's because the honey helps the green tea stick to your face, but the green tea gives you the antioxidant properties, and it also gives you the anti-inflammatory properties. So if you need a quick DIY, there you go. I'm going to go back to sun exposure for just a little bit. How are we doing on time? About 25 minutes left. Look at this. I have so many different subjects and notes.
While you're looking, I have a question.
Yeah.
Just because I'm really honestly curious about your opinion on this. How, obviously, all over social media, the big thing is, if you're anti-aging, is that you need to take NADs.
You need to take what?
NADs.
I don't know what that is.
Have you not seen that? It's everywhere.
No, I don't know what that
It all
is.
started with,
Tell me about this.
what's her name? Who's the one married to Justin Bieber? Hailey Bieber.
Hailey Bieber.
Hailey Bieber and Kylie Jenner were getting the IVs of it. And they're like, I'm going to do this every day for the rest of my life. And they're claiming it's like the fountain of youth.
Well, that's BS. There is no fountain of youth.
But they're saying it's really important.
I'm gonna have to look into that because this is the first I've heard of it. Okay, next time I come for sure. Yeah, let me write it down. Now I'm gonna go down. Thanks. I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole for like 3 weeks. Any other questions before we move on? Yeah, go ahead.
I think I just figured it out about the NADs. Yeah, I'm gonna wait.
Okay, Isabella, draw something for us.
Okay, so NAD is considered the bioactive form of vitamin B3. Because vitamin B3 is converted to NAD in the body, so it sounds like it's
Okay,
a natural
like a hormone.
that we make.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I could see that being if you're deficient in NAD, which is supposed to help a lot of different conditions, that being pumped full of that is gonna help.
Okay, so that kind of makes sense with the vitamin B3. That kind of makes sense. So I wouldn't say that's total BS because the vitamin B3. What that's going to do is that's a rejuvenating ingredient. So that's going to exactly. Yeah, there's not. I mean, that from what you just said, that sounds sound like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another really popular thing lately that we've been hearing about since we're talking about trends. Snail mooching, that's a huge trend right now. The last time I was here, I got a question about that, and it was so new to me that I wasn't quite sure. So I looked into it. Snail mooching is an excellent form of hyaluronic acid. You can get a huge amount of hyaluronic acid from snail mooching. So yes, it's a trendy thing, but there's some real science behind it. And for those of you who weren't here, hyaluronic acid, that's a natural hydrator that works from the inside of your skin. It's already a compound that's already in your skin, and it just holds moisture at the surface of your skin. I want to talk about the different forms of light real quick. Sunlight and sun exposure for just a moment. There's 3 different kinds of UV light. There's UVA rays, there's UVB rays, and there's UVC rays. UVC rays, I'm going to actually go backwards. UVC rays, these are the most dangerous and harmful form of light rays, but luckily the ozone layer filters it out for us, so we don't need to worry about vitamin or UVC rays here on the surface. UVB rays, I like to think of these as the burning rays, B for burning. These are the light rays that are going to, the radiation from the sun is going to change the chemical makeup of your skin, and it's also going to damage your DNA. That's how we get a sunburn, is your DNA is damaged and your skin is inflamed because it's sending blood to that area because it's damaged. UVA rays, I call these the aging rays. These are the light rays that are going to give you the fine lines and wrinkles. And these are the most dangerous here on the surface because they'll go through your clothes. They'll go through the window. They'll go through your hat. So the UVA rays, or the aging rays, those are the ones that you really need to look out for. And that's why we need to wear sunscreen every day. And there's especially the past year or so, there have been some, especially like on TikTok and stuff, that are getting tens of millions of views saying sunscreen causes cancer. This is wrong, this is false, and if you ever hear somebody say this, you have to shut them down right away. As beauty professionals, it is our responsibility to say, no, sunscreen does not cause cancer, it prevents cancer. And as beauty professionals, it is our responsibility to correct these rumors, because literally tens of millions of views are being seen right now, and people are literally dying because of this lie. Sunscreens prevent skin cancer. They will never cause it. There are tons and tons, multiple studies out there that will prove sunscreens prevent skin cancer. There are 0 studies, not even one, that prove that it causes cancer. So it's just a lie, and it needs to be shut down, and it's our job to do that.
Are they saying that because of the chemical sunscreens?
Exactly. Chemical sunscreens are getting a bad rap.
What exactly do they, like, are they doing?
So the difference between chemical sunscreens and mineral sunscreens. We say mineral sunscreens are much healthier, like the titanium dioxide or the zinc oxide. These are natural minerals that are going to block the sunlight. They're going to reflect the sunlight away from your skin. Chemical sunscreens, on the other hand, absorb the radiation from the sun instead of reflecting it away from your skin. So it's just the front door or the back door. It's two different ways to get to the same result. There are some certain ingredients like oxybenzone. Yes, that's really bad and you need to stay away from it. But it was phased out pretty fast. In fact, the stuff that you can get at the Dollar Tree doesn't have oxybenzone in it anymore. You could actually use that as a chemical sunscreen. But chemical sunscreens are just as effective, and they're just as safe as mineral sunscreens. We like to use mineral sunscreens in skincare because you can leave it on longer without feeling greasy, without getting, specifically like professional grade skincare or professional grade sunscreens, especially the mineral ones. You can leave them on longer. You can leave them on overnight. All right. And they're also, they can be used for people with oily or acneic skin. They're not going to break you out. Chemical sunscreens get a bad rap because a lot of them do break you out still. And that's why we want, for people that have those types of concerns, we want to gear them more towards the mineral sunscreens. But again, that's just the difference between one skin type and another. That's the difference between one skin concern or another. So chemical sunscreens and mineral sunscreens, they're just as effective, they just work different ways. Kind of in the same way that from the Image skincare products, like the Ageless skincare line versus the Max skincare line, they are both anti-aging skincare lines. They just go about it a different way. The Ageless line goes in through the way of like retinols, mainly retinols, where the ageless line will go in and try to resurface old skin cells. The Max line goes in a different way. It uses peptides and stem cells from plants to reduce the signs of aging. The difference between these two is it's just a different road. It's the back door versus the front door for anti-aging. So let's say, well, think of it this way. Let's talk about the plant. The plant that is used inside in the Max line, these are Swedish apples that don't shrivel. And they took the property from these Swedish apples that don't shrivel. They took the stem cells from these apples and put it in a skincare line. So if it keeps an apple from shriveling, the idea is it's going to keep your skin from shriveling. And so that's kind of the way the Max line does. Instead of resurfacing, we're working from the inside. Retinols, for the most part, I kind of like to think of it this way. Retinols renew your skin. Peptides can help to prevent fine lines and wrinkles from forming. Peptides are the bonds that hold your skin together. And as we age, those bonds kind of loosen up, and that's how we start to see the signs of aging, like fine lines and wrinkles. So I like to think of it this way. Retinols renew, peptides prevent. They prevent new fine lines and wrinkles from forming. Tanning is the body's natural response. Like we just said a little bit ago, if you have a little bit of damage, you're going to see that redness. You're going to see the melanin in your skin darken to try and protect your skin from more sunlight. 35% of Americans have said that they've used a tanning bed in their lifetime. And I'm not going to tell you that tanning beds are horrible, but some are worse than others. But the important point that I want to make here about tanning or tanning facilities is this is a stark statistic. There are 18,000 tanning beds in the United States, or tanning facilities in the United States. There are only 1,000 hospitals that treat skin cancer. So it's a huge difference. 18,000 tanning facilities versus 1,000 hospitals that prevent skin cancer. The DNA in your skin cells can start to be damaged under 1 minute after sun exposure. If you're outside for less than 1 minute, you could get damage from your DNA could be damaged from the sun. So again, that's why as beauty professionals, it's our job, it's our responsibility to remind people that sunscreen every day, no matter what. That is the number one way for two reasons. The number one way to prevent skin cancer is wearing sunscreen every day. And the number one way to prevent the signs of aging is wearing sunscreen every day. The redness occurs because your blood vessels open up. Your blood vessels are expanding. And when your blood vessels expand, the blood vessels get closer to the skin, and it's literally the blood that you're seeing on the surface of the skin. So when our skin is damaged by the sun, our blood vessels, this is the inflammation that we're talking about. The blood vessels are expanding, the blood vessels are getting closer to the surface of the skin, and we're actually seeing the blood. So if you see redness in someone's skin, that's actually blood that's too close to the surface. So we need to calm down that inflammation. Different ways to calm down the inflammation would be topical products like a vitamin C or green tea, or just temperature, just a coldness can help to reduce the inflammation. You can also get hyperpigmentation from the sun. This is where the Illuma line comes in. Hyperpigmentation is an overpigmentation of the skin because you've had too much sun exposure. So the melanin in your skin, you're overproducing the melanin in your skin, and it doesn't reduce. So that's how we get sunspots. That's how we get discoloration in the skin. That's why when you see truck drivers, one side of their face looks different than the other, because the sun has been on this side of their face this whole time. A lot of truck drivers these days will just wear gloves now because the sun is damaging their hands. So there's UV protective gloves out there. Especially on like long road trips, I like to wear UV protective gloves when I'm driving because the sun is right on there. And just a quick side note, your hands actually age faster than your face. Your hands and your neck can give away your age just as much as your face. So protecting your hands from sun exposure is just as important. And when you're putting on your daily routine of skincare products, make sure whatever you're putting on your face, you're also putting on your neck, because your neck can also give away your age. All right. Does anybody have any more questions for me before we move on? Okay. So I'm just gonna just quickly. We have about 10 minutes left. I'm just gonna quickly review what we talked about today. Ask a few questions. So I'm gonna start with the very first question here, and if you don't know the answer, what is the number one? What is the first rule of skincare? Sunscreen every day, no matter what. And we're going to follow that question up with, what is the most effective anti-aging product? Sunscreen. Who can tell me what UVA light does?
Aging.
Right, aging. UVB light? Burning. So keep that in mind. The UVA rays will age your skin. The UVB rays will burn your skin. What does a retinol do? Exactly, renews the cell turnover, makes your cell turnover a little bit faster. What about vitamin C? What does vitamin C, or what can vitamin C do? Hydration, yes, that's one.
Antioxidant.
It's an antioxidant, yes. It's an anti-inflammatory, absolutely. It does several different things. It can work for anyone, really. And so vitamin C is like a keystone, a cornerstone skincare ingredient. Who can tell me what hyaluronic acid does?
Hydrates from the inside out.
Correct. It's a humectant. It hydrates from the inside out. A natural moisturizer works from the outside in. An example would be vitamin E. That's a natural moisturizer. It works from the outside in. Hyaluronic acid works from the inside out. Let's see here. If you have somebody with dry skin, what kind of skincare product should you use primarily for someone with dry skin? Yes, moisturizers, oil-based products, creams, oils. Those are the kinds of things that you want to use for dry skin. We'll go the other direction. What about oily skin? What kind of products are you looking for oily skin? Water-based, yes, gel products. Gel-based or water-based products are excellent for acneic skin. And also, you want to use gel-based products for somebody who has sensitivities as well. You want to start there and work your way up to something else. But if you have somebody with sensitive skin, like here in the school, start with the Ormetic line. Start with that because we're gonna. It's a soothing line. It's a calming line.
So what if you have dry and sensitive skin?
If you have dry and sensitive skin, I would say go with the gel-based. I would say go with water-based.
So even if, so like I have eczema, so I have really dry skin, but it's also sensitive.
Uh-huh.
So I kind of go in between because I want a strong like moisturizer and hydrating, but I also don't want to like overdo it because
Exactly.
I'm sensitive.
So I would say you would use for a serum, you would want to use like a humectant or a hydrator as a serum. So something like a hyaluronic acid. Make sure there's a hyaluronic acid in your serum, and then put a moisturizer over the top of that, like a cream. You can use a combination of both of those things. So you would start with like a serum, and then put a moisturizer over the top of it.
And the Vitamin C anti-aging hydrating serum was actually the very first thing ever created. And it was actually created because the founder has rosacea, which is sensitive, and she created it for her skin.
Yeah, she created it for her skin, for her rosacea, and the product became popular. And then she was selling the product at a trade show in Texas, and that's where she met her husband, who happens to be a plastic surgeon, and together they expanded the Image skincare line from there. Now it's used by over 50,000 professionals. It's one of the most awarded skincare lines of all time, and in my personal opinion, I think from a professional skincare standpoint, I think it's the best in the world because I've actually seen results. Their education is fantastic. They have a huge support system, and there's a lot of excellent skincare product companies out there, but they don't have the full spectrum of excellent products along with excellent education and support. Peptides. What do peptides do? Exactly. Peptides prevent, among other things, it does many things, but among other things, peptides prevent the signs of aging from happening. Niacinamide, or vitamin B. Exactly. Yep. It can help to. Niacinamide can help to remove the surface oils for acneic skin. All right. I think that's all I have for today. Do we have any more questions before I head out? Okay, perfect. If you go to this website here, rishaskin.com, it's just a link tree that I have, but there's a few different links on there. One is just my social media. My Instagram is primarily my skincare stuff. And so you'll find stories on there where I'll talk about, I have a story on there about just ingredients, just vitamins, and then every week I talk about a different Image skincare product. On that link tree, you'll also find the Skincare Squad. That's a Facebook group that just talks about different skincare products and different things that I'm doing. Another link on there is Aesthetics Magazine. That is a podcast that I started. And that just that's really my notes from skincare school put into a podcast form. So if you just are struggling with understanding a few concepts, go to the podcast. And then one other thing that I want to talk about before I let you go is ASCP, or Associated Skincare Professionals. You may have heard of it, you may not have heard of it, but especially as a student, it was really important for me and it really helped me out. Not only does it offer support and education for skincare professionals, it also offers insurance for skincare professionals. Students can get insurance for as little as $15 at ASCP. Once you're a professional, it's a little bit more. But when you're out in the industry, insurance is important. But besides the education and the insurance, it's the podcast. The podcast is really important. So if you want to learn more about what it's really like for estheticians in the industry, especially what it's really like here in Colorado, this is a podcast out of Boulder, Colorado. It's called ASCP, Associated Skincare Professionals. And their podcast is called SD Talk. I listened to it all through school, and it really helped me out. That podcast really helped me get through school. I'm going to ask one more time if there are any more questions before I go today. Okay, perfect. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.